Welcome to the Rudick Report. Today is Friday, May 12, 2023. If you can, please support this channel by buying me a cup of coffee or by visiting my affiliate links. Your help is greatly appreciated and helps us to continue to provide content. Today's message is a wake-up call. It's time to look around and see what is actually taking place and stop ignoring the current situation in hopes that it all disappears and goes back to what you think is normal. We must all go through this collapse, from the government to its citizens, and hopefully we all come out wiser, having learned from our mistakes. If we take an honest look at what is taking place across the United States, we see one economic burning tire after another. Inflation, higher interest rates when compared to the last 15 years, where in a matter of 18 months we moved from 0% interest rates to over 5% and higher. When that happens, the impact on credit markets can be both significant and adverse, as many of the recently failed banks have found out, where historically safe treasuries become risky assets. We now have escalating unemployment also. They tell us the unemployment rate is only 3.4%, but you have to remember that the labor participation rate is only at 62.6%. So this drastically affects that number. In reality, the unemployment number is significantly higher. Massive layoffs continue, and nearly everything we pay for daily to survive has become increasingly more expensive. Yet wages, if you're lucky to earn one, have been stagnant. If you recall, the Fed set their target inflation rate to a max of 2%. They all said that we would never go over that line, and when things started to creep over that bullcrap number, the talking heads all said it was transitory, just to calm the masses. And we all soon found out that that was nonsense. We all began to see prices explode to nearly unaffordable levels. In fact, we have reached a sad situation where people are now choosing between paying their bills or eating. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported this week that consumer price inflation, as measured by the Consumer Price Index, is increasing at an annual rate of 4.9%, which is more than double what the Fed indicated, and yet everyone waits with bated breath for their every word so we can see how the markets will respond. In my opinion, everything that comes out of the mouth of the Fed is carefully tailored talking points with manipulated data points. We all know that there have been massive layoffs in the technology sector, and according to the latest counts, there have been more than 350,000 technology jobs lost since the start of last year. In the first 5 months of 2023, technology companies have laid off nearly 200,000 employees. So by all accounts, based on the information we know and the reality of people's daily economic lives, what we see is an economy spiraling and headed towards dangerous waters. Most of you are very aware of what's going on in the economy, but facing some of these challenges and preparing as best as you can help you better navigate these waters. So if you have not prepared in any way, let this report alert you to brace for impact. For those of you who have the time and resources, I'd ask that you alert others to help them prepare as well. It may be that they ignore you or laugh it off, but your job is to get the message out. What they do with the information is their issue. It may be that, with your own words, you plant a seed that germinates in their minds, and that seed may eventually help them to act. We need as many people as we can get to help them so that they will not be dependent on the government for their survival. Together we can either fight what's coming or to help to rebuild after the collapse. Having like-minded people preparing for this eventual crash will help us all when it's time to emerge from the ashes. In fact, it is quite possible that some will even thrive during these times. As a people, we are facing tremendous challenges. Some of these include the border crisis, which has been a blazing inferno for over 2 years, and with the fall of Title 42, it will be like pouring gasoline on an already massive fire. Any last-minute actions by Biden is only for show and results in empty promises. The current banking crisis seems to be all by design. The powers that be want the American financial system to be consolidated under a few mega banks. So even if you never wanted to put your money in JP Morgan Chase or Bank of America or whoever, the powers and the principalities will try to force you into them. This is not financial advice in any way, but it may make sense to do what you can to avoid that scenario. And then we have the food supply in America. It's in a state of turmoil. The effects of manufactured events over the last couple of years, with fire after fire, will be felt over the next couple of years, as there's a delay between the cause and effect in such massive system disruptions. So at some point, the already high prices of food will only skyrocket. When it comes to energy, the punishment of oil companies and the prevention of drilling and the push to the nonsensical green energy will only destabilize an already limited electrical grid. Prepare yourself for power outages and rolling blackouts that will no doubt continue into the future. We also have these global health organizations announcing health scare after health scare with new outbreaks of aggressive diseases, with these organizations at the ready with their latest magical vaccines ready to inject you, to cure you in every way that they can. Then we have the lifestyle police. And it's just not about brainwashing leftists and children into questioning how they were created by God. It's about furthering their agenda by calling what is true a lie and calling what is a lie the truth, all disguised as humanitarian in nature. It's all a lie, in my opinion, and it's not about a left-wing or a right-wing agenda either. It's about good versus evil, and we can clearly see who is promoting what. Then they are trying to ban the Second Amendment. Some have said that with all the massively promoted stage events and violence, it will be their reason to try to disarm the people and establish a police state. It's the ongoing acceleration of pointless acts of violence, staged or otherwise, that they will use to try and establish controls. Stand up for your rights, exercise your rights, and prepare yourselves as best as you can. We also have voter fraud and the ignoring of clear, obvious data revealing the same. Of course, this all gets swept under the rug, and if you bring it up, it's just identified as nonsense. Of course, we have wars and rumors of wars, with the United States fighting a proxy war in Russia right now, and now also escalating tensions with China will no doubt bring us to a conflict when it comes to Taiwan. But even with all this happening, it's not a time to panic like the masses. It's a time to quickly prepare and get yourself and your family and friends up to speed to what is happening and prepare accordingly as best as you can. Don't put your head in the sand and hope for the best. Take some action. As with all my messages, this is not financial advice, but it may make sense to get extra food, water, get cash for emergencies in case there is a run on the banks, and if possible, get out of debt and move some money to precious metals. There are many reputable companies to buy from. Some of them include JM Bullion, SD Bullion, and Money Metals. You can use whoever you think is best, but just take some action before you can't. Until next time, this is the Rudick Report.